Good morning, it's Joe Zago, and I just want to remind you of the importance of gratitude. Um, I'm somebody that focuses on the negative pretty frequently. By default, I like to find the things that are wrong with situations instead of finding the things that are right in situations. And that's just the way I'm wired. And I have to be aware of the fact that I'm wired that way and not become victim to my own habits. Because if I just follow what I'm normally used to doing without making a conscious decision to change those behaviors and those reactions, then I'm just going to go downhill. And that's just what I do by default. And I have to remind myself constantly, if I want to have a good day, I've got to start a day with gratitude. And I've got to write down the things that I'm grateful for. And it sounds silly sometimes when you say that, but if I can actually give myself 10 minutes or 15 minutes every morning, if I'm going to spend 10 minutes on the shitter taking a poop, going through Facebook or social media, I could spend 10 minutes after I'm done pooping and washing my butt to go do something where I focus on my gratitude and write down things that I'm grateful for. And it could be silly things. It could be just, it's not silly, but air, for example. I mean, we take air so for granted. But when you've got COVID-19 and you're struggling for breath, or you are, fighting a pneumonia and it's hard to breathe, and you're like, and you really realize how important air is to breathe. But we take it for granted. We take people for granted, people that we love that are there. And I remember I was having this great big fight. My girlfriend and I broke up a couple months ago, but I remember a few months ago, I was having an anxiety attack out of nowhere. My blood pressure went through the roof and I thought I was dying. And when she was driving me to the emergency room, all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, I love this girl. She's saving my life. She's, but I take her for granted in so many other ways. When things are good, I forget how much I, appreciate all the support that she's given me over the time. And I'll focus on the negative, like, oh, well, you lied about this, or and that'll be the biggest thing in my head at the time. And I guess what I'm saying is we really, instead of focusing on what's wrong with people, what's wrong with situations, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with politics, what's wrong with what's on the news, what's wrong with our governor or city or state or country or whatever it may be, or what's wrong with our boss, focus on what's right. Focus on what we're grateful for. Focus on the fact that we have air to breathe. Focus on the fact that we have a mind that we can think with and we can create with. Focus on we have, if we have all of our limbs that we can operate with, that we have those things. I have a very good friend of mine who was born with no arms and no legs, and he could use that as an excuse as to say, okay, well, I want government to help me out, and I want this, and I can't do this on my own. Or he can use that as something that he leverages to help other people, and he can actually make money. This guy's making a 6-figure income at a job, but what he's about to do over the next few years is create something to inspire so many other people, and believe me, he's going to make money along the way doing it. So, we can use the things that we find as handicaps or situations that we find that are bad or negative at the time and turn them into something really, really great. I never thought in a million years, when I was 35 years old, my life was out of control. I was drinking and driving. I got in trouble. I lost my driver's license because I got 2 DUIs within 5 years of each other. I was doing some crazy shit, and my life was spiraling completely out of control. And I eventually crashed. I lost my license. It got taken away. I had to go to jail for a little bit. I was on a house arrest tether. I was on a long probation that was horrible. I had to do community service. My house got repossessed. My car got repossessed. Even though I had no driver's license, I was still driving illegally until it got taken away from me. So I lost my job. I lost everything. And I was squatting in a basement in a foreclosed home waiting for the sheriff to kick us out and lock the door on us. And the house had no heat from October to January in Michigan. And you can imagine it's cold in the winter in Michigan. They made songs, it's so cold in the deep. Anyway, but it's cold. And this was at 35 years old. When I should have life figured out. I should be married. I should have a family. I should have a house that's, on the way to being paid for. And here I was, homeless. And I thought that was the worst thing in the world. The world fucked me. I was so victimized by this. And, I wasn't drunk. I was a .08. I only had 2 drinks. 3 drinks. I shouldn't have got a DUI. It was bullshit. I could have gone that route. But instead I just accepted it. I was grateful for the 100 of times that I drank and drove that I didn't get caught, because it could have been a lot worse if I would have got caught with a much higher level. And I changed my ways. And instead of making excuses, instead of blaming the world, instead of complaining about this or that, I lost all those things, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it woke me up. I started thinking differently. I was exposed to AA, and I was exposed to programs where they focus on things like gratitude and taking responsibility. Just stopping drinking on its own was not going to get me sober. In other words, abstinence from alcohol is far different than sobriety. Sobriety is in the head, it's in the emotions, it's in the heart. It's dealing with the root of the working the steps in my recovery program is dealing with the root of the problem, not just the symptoms of the problem. So anyways, I was exposed to gratitude, and if we start the day with writing down things things we're grateful for. And my girlfriend and I, like I said, we broke up a couple months ago, but on the way out she bought me this gift, and she got me this little man's journal where I write down things about my day. It starts off here talking about I am grateful for this. Then it says, and it starts a quote like, "The mind is everything. What you think about, you become." That's a quote from Buddha. And then today, what I haven't done yet, but 80% of success is showing up, and actually getting to it. And that's a quote from Woody Allen. So there's great quotes in this book. It talks about what I'm grateful for, and we write down the things that we're grateful for, just 3 things. What would make today awesome? Daily affirmations are, things that I'm, that I want to, confirm to myself that are positive. And at the end of the day, I write 3 awesome things that happened today. How could today have been better? And then score today overall. And then we do it again the next day. But it's actually going through the motions of writing down the things that we're grateful for. Don't just think about it for a couple seconds. Write them down on a piece of paper. Because when we write them down, we give things substance. And then we're able to focus on those things. And if we focus on the good and not focus on the bad, our life goes in different direction. So I'm here to implore you, to impress upon you the fact that what you think about, and this is a great quote because what Buddha said here, the mind is everything. What you think about, you become. And I saw that in The Secret. There's a quote in there. A guy says, thoughts become things. So what we've got to do is we've got to focus on our gratitude. We've got to focus on the things that are right in our relationship, the things that are right in our job or our career, the things that are right in the things that we love. And we might not like the decisions that our governor is making for us and whatever, but find the good in something. There's positive in everything. Even when you can't think there's something positive, start down with the blatant things, the obvious things. I'm grateful for air. I'm grateful for my eyesight. I can see. I'm grateful that I can smell and taste. I'm grateful that I can breathe. I'm grateful that I have parents that loved me and that didn't throw me out when any other person would have thrown me out. I'm grateful for my sister who's always looked out for me. I'm grateful for the people that I've got to learn from, my boss, John Parker, my boss, Walter Reynolds, my sales coach, Paul Cotter and Gary Garland. I'm grateful for Jerry Lederer from Express Flooring. I'm grateful for Tony Robbins for having workshops that allowed me to think bigger and to overcome my fears. I'm grateful for so many different things, but write down these things that you're grateful for and do it every single morning. Start the day with gratitude. It makes a world of difference. And this other book that she gave me here, Start with Gratitude. And this was really great because one of the questions, I just started this thing, talks about list negative events that led to positive changes in your life. And something I learned in a workshop that I was in a long time ago is every breakthrough, almost every breakthrough, starts with a breakdown. Now think about that. Any time that you had to learn, or I had to learn, or we had to learn a really hard life lesson, it was a result of something that when shit really hit the fan. Think about it. Getting dumped by someone that we really loved because of a behavior that we did changed my life. I mean, I was with a woman who was everything to me. I wanted to marry her. We got engaged. We were pregnant. She aborted our child, and that killed me. And I hated myself for many years because I thought I wasn't man enough. Why? She didn't feel secure with me. I was a dick. I didn't treat her right. I was I was an asshole. I was getting drunk every day. When I'd get drunk, I'd do stupid things like I would steal. I remember stealing a barbecue grill from one of our neighbors down the street in an apartment complex we lived in because I didn't have my own barbecue grill and I wanted to cook something. Like she was probably going to be a single mom if she had a baby with me, because I would have wound up in jail. So I learned lessons from my mistakes, from losing my house, from losing my driver's license, from losing my jobs, things that I worked hard for, and losing those things taught me life lessons that were very hard to learn, but very necessary to get me to the next step. So look at everything that's negative and try to find the positive in it, is what I'm saying. Start your day with gratitude. I'm grateful for the air I get to breathe. I'm grateful for the business that I was able to create that afforded me to be able to live a life that's far beyond my wildest imagination. I'm grateful for so many things, but every single thing starts with gratitude. So Start your day happy. And if you're not happy, find things to be happy about. Have a great day. Be cool. Subscribe. Don't subscribe, whatever. I don't care what you do. But just be positive. Have a great day. Appreciate you. Love you. 10 minutes is up.